Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your May 2023 Astrotarot scope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign, Saggy, this is for you. But I do advise that you, if you're only going to watch one especially, watch your ascendant. It's going to be the most accurate because I'm using a lot more of the astrology. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So we're going to pop these to the side. Those will be for your moons. These will be for your weeks of the month. And this will be for the bulk of your read. So for the first transit that I wanted to look at is Venus, the lady and goddess of love, luck and money, is coming into the sign of Cancer, which for you is your 8th house of other people's money, finances and resources, tax, loans, bursaries, debts even, right? So Venus coming into the 8th could have a really nice positive impact on any debts that you've got. This may be potentially, it's not a guarantee because, you know, the world is the world right now, so it's less sort of likely, but it is possible, right? Venus can do good work. She's known as the lesser benefic, so this could be the forgiving of a debt. Maybe a debt is wiped out, or maybe someone says to you, look, you know what, actually you're all right, I think you've paid enough so far. Another way that this could show up is it could be a lovely tax rebate as well, very possible. Venus coming into your 8th house is sexy, it's lush, it's vibrant, it is really, really great. Now in the 8th house, Venus for women can bring the touch of the goddess, it's said, so it can really enable you to either heal yourself or tap into healing abilities for others. Really good for glamour work as well. As for in guys or in men, this apparently brings the Jupiter more so, but Venus too brings the touch of a healer as well. So now it is only a transit. She's not going to be there for long, but it's definitely a time to milk it. So if you need healing, especially in need of like connections or sexual sort of instances, definitely something to pay into to lean into. Now, like I said, this could be a nice juicy tax rebate of some sort. It might even be a gift from others of the financial nature. Maybe somebody just gives you money or gives you a gift. Venus loves gifts, right? She loves giving gifts and getting gifts. So this could be that. It could just show up in that way. It could also be a very sexual or a very intimate encounter with someone who pushes all the right buttons. If you have issues or challenges around inheritance, legal matters revolving around money, etc., this will be really great because it provides the diplomacy for all parties involved, but it also gives you the edge by creating a lot more tact with your words, how you present things. So it will give you what you need to get something seen to completion. To clarify on this, you've got the 6 of Cups, so this potentially has something to do with siblings, but it also speaks to your past. Then you've got the so this card, the She, is actually the Temperance card, right? But in this deck, so the fact that you've got Temperance here and the 6 of Cups, this is healing something from your past. Now the 8th house, something that I didn't mention earlier, is the 8th house is the house of wounds, traumas, PTSD, sort of some of the deeper psychological stuff that we have and carry. And this does suggest that there's some very nice healing energy coming into that, especially around a fight that's been had, particularly around a woman or women in general. The Queen of Swords, usually an air sign woman, Aquarius, Gemini or Libra. This could be maybe a reconnection with someone or the mending of a rift between you and another person, specifically an air sign, potentially an air sign woman. So that could be really nice. Another way that this could show up as well, this could be you choosing to fight for something, but you're doing it in a way that isn't so sort of over the top and grandiose, like you're usual magnanimous self. I think it's almost like it's a bit more toned down and a bit more focused and honed. So I actually really like that for you guys. Now, on the 11th of May, we have a transit that I really wanted to look at for everyone because I think it's going to be quite intense. The moon, our illustrious Lunar, is going to come into a conjunction with Pluto in your in the sign of Aquarius, which for you is your third house, your local neighborhood, siblings, etc. Now it's also in, those two energies are in a dissociated opposition with Mars, right? And this is a big deal because Mars Pluto in general is quite, can be quite intense and quite explosive, especially because of whatever comes out. And then we've got Lunar there, who's in her last quarter square at this point, which is in your third house. So this is bringing a real powerful, in-depth intensity to your conversations potentially, and also because it's that last quarter square, some kind of action is going to be demanded from you. So whatever comes up, this could actually be, because it's the third house of communications, websites, your local neighborhood, your siblings, etc. This for you, because that third house rules communication, this could literally be like a secret of some sort that is revealed, and it's like when it comes up or out, you're like, shit, I just have to deal with this head on. When it does come out, it potentially is a little bit explosive because of the planets that are involved. This could be a harsh conversation that literally just kind of now, especially because so like I said, that third quarter square moon energy is going to demand action almost immediately. If you've got a website, etc., potentially it goes on the fritz at this time, so watch out for anything technological around communication. So a gadget, a device, your phone, your iPad, laptop, PC, all of that stuff. Please look after those things, especially if, touch wood, at the moment maybe it's not something that you can afford to replace. Look out for your gadgets, all right? Now, it might also show up just as like there's an intense task that you just kind of don't feel up to. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe there's I don't know, maybe all the PTA mums are getting together and they're like, we need to write or protest for this. And you're like, you know what, I'm not there right now. So there's that. And, potentially because it's the third house of siblings, maybe, just maybe, the challenge or the issue or the hard conversation that you have, it comes up with a sibling, right? It could be that you and a sibling maybe have some harsh words. And siblings had already come up with that Six of Cups as well, so that's interesting. This could be potentially maybe you're addressing an old wound. Now for this, you've got the Two of Cups, partnerships, relationships, connections, collaborations with the Two of Wands. Two twos represents a bond, a pact or an accord, so a close relationship of some kind. With the Ten of Wands, I'm just going to tell you straight up, because the third house is kind of like mates and or skills, I am going to tell you straight up here, this, because the Ten of Wands can also be like a release of something or release of a burden. This may very well be a harsh conversation that ends up breaking a friendship, or potentially, maybe you and a sibling fall out and you're like, right, you know what, that's us until such time. Now the Two of Wands in the middle there does suggest that this is also potentially has something to do with money, finances and resources, and it may also be that for a select few of you, you might break away from a community. It's kind of like around this time, because of the mix of cards as well, this might be, let's say you've got that friend who, they are a bit wealthier than everybody else, and so therefore, most of the time you can kind of survive the snooty swipes and stuff about people that haven't got money or yah. But maybe this time it's like one thing too far, and you just snap and kind of say, you know what, take your money. And I grew up on a council estate, so I heard that kind of stuff quite often. If you're not from the UK, a council estate, a friend of mine who lives in New York recently just said to me, I said to him, it's kind of like your version of the projects. And he was like, dude, there's nothing like the projects. Trust me when I tell you. And I was like, okay, fair enough. That's probably true. But yeah, council estates are known to be, we're common as Macmush. And you know what? That works for me. I don't care. Right, so on the 16th of May, Jupiter is coming into the sign of Taurus. This is a big deal for all of us because it only changes signs once a year. And this transit of Jupiter moving into Taurus, it's only happening, it's happening in Taurus, and it will stay in Taurus. So for the last 3 years, whatever sign Jupiter has been in, it's retrograded back into the sign prior to it that it's just left. This time when it comes into Taurus, it comes into Taurus and it stays in Taurus. So this is a big deal. Now for you, this is coming into your 6th house of work, day-to-day routines, your habits. It's a wonderful transit, this as well, because Jupiter represents healing. This can literally bring healing to your physical body. If you've had chronic situations, issues, I'm not a doctor, I can't give you medical advice, but what I can tell you is Jupiter represents healing on its own, and so therefore it could bring you a really powerful healing energy into your physical body. So if you've had any problems or issues with that, this could be absolutely wonderful. This next 12 months could really help you work on cleaning up, clearing up, and really supporting your body in a very profound way. It's helping you build a strong, healthy, beautiful body. Now this is also your work house, so work opportunities are likely to expand around this time. When we say work, this is like the grind, right? Like the day-to-day, all the stuff that you need to do, all of that kind of stuff. Now Jupiter does expand everything that it touches, and the 6th house is the body. So this time, this next 12 months, you got to be really conscious. Whenever Jupiter moves through the 1st house or the 6th house, you really have to watch your weight, because it will likely bring up, it will enhance your sweet tooth, not just your sweet tooth. Like Venus is mostly the sweet tooth, whereas Jupiter is just more of the chocolate, another glass of wine, a second burger, it's like just more, right? Always more. That's Jupiter. So you just need to be mindful of that. Now, it's not all lightness, happy and sweet. Jupiter expands anything that it touches. So if you're already unhealthy, this potentially makes it worse. Do the right things. Eat well. Get your rest. Drink your water. Do the exercise, go to the doctor, go and see a specialist, go and see somebody who is, who can help you with all of these things. And one of the reasons I say this as well, because it's Jupiter and Jupiter rules dignitaries and, the higher ups, etc., you could end up getting the best doctor for this thing that you need to have looked at. You could end up getting the best specialist, or someone who's like really well known in their field could be like, yeah, I saw your case, I'm totally interested and I want to work on this with you. So use it, right? Lean into it. For this, you have the 5 of Wands. So potentially a lot of voices going on here with the Sun card. Look at that. That is joy. That is connection with lots of people. This is potentially bringing some healing to workplace situations. So if you've had problems with enemies in the spaces that you spend a lot of time as part of your routines and rituals, so your work, your job, your place of study, if you've had problems or issues, this Jupiter transit is actually going to help clear and clean that up. And then you've got the 4 of Cups. So this is also going to help you utilize your networks when it comes to the work, the job and the profession in ways that you can't envision just yet. But you will get a little heads up around this time, all right? And then finally, the last transit that I wanted to look at is on the 21st of May, Mars is moving into the sign of Leo, all right? And it'll be sat at that 0 degree of your 9th house, which is the house in astrology that is naturally ruled by you, because the 9th sign is Sagittarius. So this is really harmonious for you, because it's bringing an action, an energy, a passion, and a desire to that space. Now, it probably sees you getting more active, and much more passionate about what you're about what you really care about or what matters to you. It also potentially sees you much more willing, as if you needed any help, much more willing to fight for what you believe in, right? Because the 9th house is spiritual beliefs and your higher philosophies and wisdom. When I had this transit personally, one thing that I can tell you is I felt my spiritual path. Like Jupiter is now moving through the last part of Aries as we speak. But since this transit started, one thing that I can definitely tell you, I have felt my spirituality on a visceral level. I mean, like, with everything that I am, my entire being has been just jacked into whatever I perceive to be the all. It's been really amazing, and I dedicated a lot more time, effort and energy to my spiritual practices. It will heighten that for you. It will do that. It also, one thing that I have found with this transit as well, whenever I'm doing workouts, whenever I'm doing things that are difficult or challenging, I've had this ability to, like, at the moment where I'm like, yeah, usually I would give up here because I'm knackered or this hurts or whatever it is, it's like you can tap into another resource that you weren't even aware that you had because you're channeling it directly from the source. You know, I'm probably getting way off the deep end or a bit too woo-woo for a lot of you, but I hope you can tap into it in the same way, because it's a really beautiful transit. It really is. And when this happened, the one in particular that I'm talking about is when Mars retrograded in Aries of 2021 into 2022. That period for me was such a profound, powerful time. So use this. Mars in the sign of Leo right now. It's not all light and bright, unfortunately, because at the same time, Mars is going to be opposing Pluto in your third house. So there's something going on here with your education, with your skill set, potentially a problem, a challenge, or an issue with an authority figure that works with or alongside you. Now, it could as well, because the ninth house is your legal matters as well. So this potentially escalates if you've got one going on, and it could even be travel that is cut short for some reason. So maybe you go on a trip and you get called back for any number of reasons. Now, it is in a perfect sextile, an exact sextile to the Sun over in Gemini, which is in your 7th house. So this could show up as a helping hand or support from seemingly nowhere. Maybe a partner completely goes to bat for you or really has your back and stands with you. It might also be where you realise that partnerships need a more official slant to them, whether this is paperwork, documentation, maybe even, you know what, we've been doing this thing for long enough. Are we dating? Are we single? What are we? Like, you might suddenly demand or need more clarification on what a relationship actually is or isn't. All right, so with that said, I wish you an abundance. No, sorry, there's cards. Gosh, we're nowhere near done, Raf. I don't know why I was wrapping that up. So you've got the Three of Wands. You've got the Knight of Cups. Solid offers coming in with the Empress, right? So solid, fruitful offers coming in at that. Now, the Empress is number 3. The Three of Wands is number 3. So 2 3s represents a calming influence. And what really speaks to me here, especially because it's with the Empress, this is like whatever is offered at the moment, not only is it a solid offer, but it's around for a long time to come. So if this is a partnership or a relationship, especially as well, this suggests if you dig in and you stick in with it for the long haul, whatever potentially any legal matters that you have will come to a close. I do see a lot of you going on some kind of trip or journey with this. Unfortunately, it just looks like it may be cut short because of that Mars connection. All right, so that's your transits. Let's have a look at your weeks of the month. So I apologise because I'm going to have to rush through the rest of it a bit, because the 20-minute mark seems to, you know, a lot of people switch off after 10 minutes. They don't seem to be able to hold the focus, and I get it, everybody's busy. Right, so you've had 2 cards jump out. So the first one for the first week of the month, you have the Star card, right? So getting a glimpse into the future, which kind of tracks, right, with Venus in that 8th house, definitely sweetening up your occult sort of abilities and powers. So that could be really nice. What I will also say to you as well is the Star card is a glimpse into the future. So this is about really trusting the knowledge, the wisdom, or the information that's coming in for you at this time. Then you have the Judgment card. So the second week of May is likely to bring something to a completion, and that's around that conjunction with the moon, right? The conjunction of Pluto with the moon. Now, because it is the Judgment card, and look, right, so these cards together, both of these cards represent long periods of time. The difference between them is the Star card is the future, the Judgment card is usually the past. But because you've got them in combination, whatever is happening for you in the first half of May of 2023, you are going to, you will feel the echo, and I don't say this lightly, you will feel the echo of whatever's going on here for quite some time. Or for a select few of you, this may work in the reverse, where an old cycle, a large, or should I say a longer term cycle, the last 17 to 21 years could literally come to an end, and you will feel this on a very powerful level. On the third week of the month, you have the Tower card, right? So to say that you're going to feel it on a powerful level is it's an underestimation. The fact that you've got the Tower card, there's a big realization here in the third week of May, and this is around that point at which Mars comes into Leo. It is going to be intense for everybody, and that third week you will see why when I put out there are other videos to come, and you will see why very soon. This is likely to be a very interesting and a very important week for all of us in some way, shape or form. And then finally we end with the Lovers card, right? So this is nice, but I gotta say, this tells me that your hand to make, it's not like someone's forcing you to make a decision, but because of what's happening in the world, I think you'll be forced to make a certain type of decision here in the last week of the month, and you might feel like you're under duress, but once you've done it, you'll actually feel a lot lighter and freer potentially, which for Saggy people is very important. And then finally for your moons, so we've got the new moon in the sign of Taurus, which for you is happening in your sixth house, right? So new moon in the 6th, you have the Gate 61 and Inner Truth. And the message behind this card is, it's about trusting or following your own true north, what feels right to you, what pulls you in a certain direction, what is absolutely sitting right with you or pulls you forward is really, really important. So that new moon in the 6th, what you feel with your body, right? Your body is the antenna at that time. Listen to what it's telling you. And then for the full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio in your 12th house, that's a powerful eclipse, right? Because it's a brand new karmic cycle or energy in some regard. So the fact that you've got, is that right? Yes, that's right. The fact that you've got a 12th house eclipse it's a fresh start in some regards, but it's also going to show you and reveal to you what the limitations are that are kind of put on you, and then from there you will work out how to work within those confines. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.